Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to live stream. Here we're going to continue looking at the Nasdaq futures this afternoon and see if we can't find a setup. I'm sure everyone who was on the morning session remember the trade idea we had just before lunchtime. We can see it stalled for quite some time, but eventually it did deliver what we had outlined. Let's go back to a higher time frame. Just take a look at where we are and how we've been retracing so far this morning. Let's see if we go from on the hourly, if we go from yesterday at 11 o'clock, so just before lunch, there was a big bullish movement upwards, which carried us through the closing bell. And if we look at that retracement now, I've had it marked out at 50%. This is 50% of the full leg, but 78%. So I had a 78% marked out as potential turnaround zone so far. Price traded to it last hour, traded through it, closed right at 78, but has opened up in the first 2 minutes of this hour. And we're already pushing towards the 88%. So we may actually look and see a full retracement here. If I extend the opening to the previous day, so to the low of this entire leg coming from Sunday evening at 1900 after the market reopened, we see now we're at right at the 71% sweet spot of the optimal trade entry. All right, so it's worth seeing how price reacts when it gets here. Let me remove this one. Yes, yeah, I had a few alerts on because during lunch I don't trade, so I just wanted to see if price hit any of those levels, and so I had some alerts on to let me know. All right, looking at the very low end, this is the Asia low from Sunday night. And so when the market reopened, that was the Asia session going into Monday morning. But prior to getting there, there's a lot of other areas to hit before. So we just want to go ahead and mark those up, keep them on our screen, and see how price reacts when it gets there. But for the now, I'm going to pause for a minute, wait for a few more people to join, and say hello to everyone who's here. Hey, Vivian. Good to have you back. WikiDigit, Fuego. Yeah, I had a pretty good session this morning for everyone who missed it. Not that there was a lot of trading, but we did have a good session. I think we knew what we were looking for and what we were looking at, and we just watched price deliver. There were several members who had some really solid trades, all of them shorts. So if you went long this morning, I'm sorry. And I know it wasn't a lot of long entries and not a lot of continuation either. So if you went long, most likely you were in a trade for under 20 points. Let's see. Okay, let me get rid of this Fibonacci there. Let's clean up our screen a bit, make it easier to see. Hmm. Go down to the 15-minute. Let's also get rid of this short tool. Oops. Trying to figure out where this came from. All right. Well, that means time to get rid of them. I think it came from a back testing session I was doing yesterday evening. Let's get back to a higher time frame here. All right, we can rest here at the 5-minute for the time being. Let's see, it's still even so far this hour. We've made a new low from 563. We're now down to 553. Remember, this orange area is where I want to see how price reacts once it gets in there. And 78. Okay. Hey, Bob. Good afternoon. Mhm. All right. Before we get too deep into price, let's just take a peek at where the other indices are trading, just so we can see how price is working on the other ones, as opposed to where we are on Nasdaq. You can see we're considerably weaker than the Dow. The Dow has been trading for higher prices for the last 3-4 hours, whereas us in Nasdaq, we've just been shorting and hitting lower prices all morning. We can see S&P is just moving sideways, so just consolidation, kind of middle of the road for these two. So we got buying, we got consolidating, we got selling. And then on the dollar, I marked out these two as the high and the low before we got started. We saw price sell down, close above the range. Oh, I'm sorry, close back inside the range. Then we saw it trade above, but retrace, close back inside the range. And now it's just trading inside of the same range. So dollar really hasn't broken out. Neither is S&P. But the Dow has broken out to the upside and Nasdaq broken out to the downside. So a lot of SMT going on this morning. Not a lot of confidence in the markets as they're not moving together. But we'll continue to trade what we see and look for setups. This is for those who weren't on the morning session, this is the news we had announced 9 and 10 o'clock this morning. The medium impact was slightly below forecast, and that was on the S&P composite. And then we had the consumer confidence as well as the JOLTS job openings finishing above expectation and forecast. So probably why the dollar hasn't really moved. It moved down and then it moved up. Most likely because of those news events, but it's not really looking to expand. So it hasn't done anything yet. All right. So now we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program and see how price is reacting. Okay, let's get down to a lower time frame just because we just concluded the macro peers. Let's just look and see what happened. Okay, we had a sweep of lows. Fair value gap created. Hmm. Yep. How do you fix it? It really depends on how you take risks. Like, how do you feel when you're taking a trade? All right, especially when you see a setup that you like how do you accept that type of risk is going to be the question you're always going to be asking yourself. So you said you took it small a lot, so you didn't trust it up front, and then you said you closed it out of fear. The only way really to do that is to continue to practice. So when you're not in a trade, you're just looking at how price is delivering. You look at the way price is moving and you say, okay, if I took a trade here, I would expect it to go to X or to Y. And then you watch it and you see where it goes to. And you start gaining confidence that, oh, okay, so this time I thought it would go to this level of liquidity and that's where it went. And the more times you do that, the more times you gain confidence and you feel good about the trades that you're in. Okay, big bro. All right. Well, let's hope this works out for us. But yeah, big bro, it's really going to be practice, practice, and practice. And the more you see the trades that you like, and you come up with what you think is a good take profit level, and you see it reach that level, the more confident you're going to be in taking those type of entries. Why am I eyeing this TP right here is because it's a 1 to 2 trade. This TP is just, I'm looking at potentially a runner. Maybe it can run up back up to this consolidation level, but not any other reason. My real TP is here. I'm looking to take one contract off. And again, that's based on the risk I'm willing to assume. So the profit I want is twice that length, right? And again, when you backtest, you start coming up with what works for you. And for me, I want to be able to get, if I'm going to stick my neck out there and take a trade, I want to get double what I risk. And so just I choose a methodical level, say this is it. And regardless of where I really think it's going, I need to at least take some profit there. Oh, Young, hi. Good afternoon. And so now if I adjust where my stop loss is for there, nah, honestly, I like where it was. Mm, okay. Okay. All right, Sniper. Load shedding. What is that? Is that like when the power goes out for a short period of time? Oh, okay, Sniper. All right. Well, good luck, man. I hope everything works out for me and for you. I'm hoping that you pass your challenge. Oh, for 2 hours. Wow, that's a long time. I thought it might be 15, 30 minutes. All right. Well, glad to have you back. Hopefully, you are able to make it to the end of this session. Hmm. Okay. Good point. ES does have those equal highs on the 1 hour. They sure do. Yep. See if it can break out of this little consolidation area it's in. Okay. Yeah, add on a little there. Right, welcome back to all the subscribers. It seems like we have quite a few in the room this early in the session. So I want to welcome back all the subscribers and to any new people. If you are brand new, never been in here, go ahead and introduce yourself. Say hello. Let us know how long you've been trading, which country you're from, or if you're from America, which state are you representing. Just let us know a little bit about you. If you have any questions, don't feel shy. Throw them in the chat. Somebody will answer you. Most likely myself, but if not, we do have several other subscribers who are more than willing to help. Oh, okay. All right, Ray. Excellent, excellent. I figure you probably caught one of those early entries where you could see what was transpiring and you jumped in here, whereas I waited to get in right at the edge of the breaker there. We'll see. We'll see. Laughter. Thanks for the confidence booster, but we'll see. It's really up to you how you feel about the trade. I'm holding until at least 1 to 2, which would be at the 613 level. So I'm holding until then before partialing out. But it's up to you how you want to do this. You're close to a 1-to-1 trade now. So if you have a bunch of contracts, say I only have 3, but if you have a lot, you can go ahead and partial at least one out now, so at least you have something. But I'm holding until 613 to take out one contract. Oh wow! So you thought you had micros, but you had minis. Okay, so you so you eating good, D Anderson. Good job. Way to go, Sniper. Good job, man. Way to go. Everybody congratulate Sniper on getting past his combine, or his or her. Not sure. Well, Sniper, what matters is that you made it. You made it to the end. So congratulations. Good job. Okay. Dow still running. Still running. S&P bullish this hour. And so is Nasdaq. Oh, yes. Combine is an evaluation. Yes. Same thing. Seeing if we can finally get some strength out of Nasdaq today. It's been struggling behind all the others, but the good thing is we had our reaction, as you see on the purple line, came from the 70.8 retracement level on the full leg. So that was the motivation behind looking for a trade here. So this would be on ICT. This would be the optimal trade entry. As you can see, I look for the optimal trade entry first, then the breaker with the fair value gap. So I waited for the unicorn setup and optimal trade entry to work together. You're not sure where to add. You want a pyramid, where it just really depends on you where you want to. A lot of times what you want to do is you either want a pyramid at a fair value gap as they create themselves. We have two here. You also have retracements back to previous highs that it overtook. So this candle here took out this high. And so a lot of times you're going to retrace it back to that high before continuing. So there are many places to do it. Again, you want to start paying attention to old price. So when you're sitting at home practicing, you want to go back, and when you see price moving and you start seeing it do this, this, and this, start paying attention to where it retraces to and where it continues from. And that kind of practice is what will allow you to do it during trading. It's going to be hard for you to just watch and listen to someone's advice and fully trust it. So you got to practice it. The 5-minute fair value gap. Oh, these. Well, I need to get through there to get to my price. So I'm expecting it to push through. I'm not expecting that price, this fair value gap to hold. This, if it does hold, then my trade fails. So that's really the only way to play it. Now, if you want to do the inversion thing, once it trades through and closes above, then you can flip it and say if it returns back, then I'll take a long. You can do that if you want. I'm probably not going to do that, but that's an option. All right, Slash, tell your sister I said what's up. How do you measure optimal trade entry? Sure. Give me 1 second. All right. So optimal trade entry is 61 to 78%. So what you're going to want to do is, I think I took it off the hour. Take your Fibonacci tool and take it from the start of a range all the way to the wick end of another range. I start mine at the candle body that starts the move. And I close it off at whatever the highest candle is, the wick. Right. Optimal trade entry is from here, here 62.8% to 78.6, with 71% being that sweet spot in the middle. So what I did is I marked up, because we were already down at 61. We had already passed 61. So I went and marked up 70.8 and 78.6. And I let price come down and touch. And I just wanted to watch and see if it turned bullish, if all of a sudden I saw energy going the other direction. And so what you see is I went and put these lines here, so I knew exactly when price got there. There's a 70.8 and here's a 78%. It touched exactly 70.8, and then all of a sudden we saw this momentum. We saw movement this direction. We saw it create a fair value gap. It had a breaker that it traded above. And so all of those things came together to formulate this trade idea. All right, one more minute on this candle. Yep. Definitely mindful of that. Yep. And that's fine. You can do that. So just have a target. If you feel like price is going lower and you're looking for a short, just have a target as to where you think price is going. And there's nothing wrong with taking a short there. One of us is going to be right and the other is not going to be. But yeah, it's just that, we also had price change. We had a market structure shift here, right? Price pushed down here, created a swing high there, which was broken on this candle, retracement into the breaker, and then trade out of it. So that's why I'm looking for longs, but you can look for shorts if that's what you believe price is doing next. Right. And even the best setups are 70%. So, I'm also believing that the Dow and S&P are going to continue to push for higher prices. And at some point, I'm expecting Nasdaq to catch on and ride the train with them. So this morning was a bit disappointing. But as I said, I don't know if you were on the early session or you caught me at 9:30 where I was thinking that they were all buy up, even though Nasdaq met its high last week. Perfect, Ray. I think that's what I was trying to say. That is nothing wrong with your bias as long as you have a target and you know where you think liquidity lies and where it's going. Exactly. Crypto leave some for the rest of us. I've had that happen to me a couple times, but only a handful of times. I'm not gonna lie. Where I'd get up in the morning, turn on the computer, pull up the charts, and it's 8:30 or something, some time where usually something good happens, and I see a setup and I jump right in, and 15 minutes later I say, okay, I'm gonna go do something else this morning. And this was before I was streaming, so whenever I met my goal for the day, I would just quit and go work out or do something. Yep, I'm long now. Seeing, okay, we're back to break even now. So we'll see what happens here. It was doing well before. Now we're back at the breaker. And this breaker is from the 3 minute. There you go here. Crypto, I think you could probably appreciate this. Done on a 3 minute chart. Yep, these in here. Hey, we got about 15 minutes before 2 o'clock. Absolutely. He's like, if you want the answer, join my Discord. All right, another 90 seconds. Let's see how this candle closes and if I still have an entry after that. Yep, Deepak, that is absolutely an option right now, at a discounted price, so you can have a lower risk. Right. Next candle has started. Now carry on, see where we are. Mm. Yeah, not a huge fan of how things are structured right now. I'm hoping that at 150, maybe we get a big push upwards. But I hope also my trades hold that long. So far, it's not looking great. All right, Fuego, take care. Yep, definitely expanded down during lunch. Anyone who was in a short during lunch, they ate good. All right, there goes one entry done. See what happens to my other two. All right. All right, let's see how this works for anyone else who's still in and still had their stop loss down here around 566, which was my original stop loss. Yeah, crypto, I have to take a break. Otherwise, I'm sitting here for 7 straight hours. Yeah, Gavin, ICT said don't trade the noon hour because most of his students are new to trading. And so he thinks that the noon hour is for advanced students only. And so that's why he say don't do it. But once you gain enough skill and you've practiced the lunch hour and you understand what it might do, then if you look at ICT's executions, he takes many trades during lunch. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Crypto. Yes, everyone like the stream. If you're enjoying the content so far, make sure you like the stream so we can get more sellers and more traders in the room. All right, so this setup looks like it's going to completely fail. So now let's look for a retracement back down below this 70.8 line that we have at 554. And let's see how price reacts once it gets there. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Now lunch definitely gives you some entries either direction, whether it's a retracement or it's a continuation. Lunch can be very lucrative. It's, it's just whether you have the time and flexibility. Some people, that's the only time they get is to trade during lunch. Hmm. All right. If we just measure this area here and see where we are, and we've done a 78% retracement. Let's go back up, hit that 5 minute. Oh, okay. Nope. Let me drop back down since we're inside of this macro period. So we'll sit here for 20 minutes and see how price delivers on the low time frame. Session lows below. You mean afternoon session, I guess? HDS, that's a personal opinion to every trader. Hindsight, it's always 2020. So that's a question I can't answer based on my trading style and the trade that I had set up. I showed where I would take partials. We never got there, and so I didn't take partials. Okay. Okay, Monday, yesterday, New York PM session low. Okay. Yep, you might be onto something, crypto. You might be right about that. I was looking at the daily from yesterday, and I'm just thinking that price wants to completely erase all the momentum built yesterday, get back to the origin price. Then for the weekly, we'll be at base price. And then on the weekly, there's a fair value gap below us at 17,410. So that actually might be a place where price wants to go if it pushes really hard to the downside. And that'll be a place to put in a low for the week. Because otherwise, we're going to be looking at the low of the week put in on Monday. Yep, today's the second day. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so we did just before it closed, push above and close above. So let's see if this turns into an inverted fair value gap. If we see price continue to push out of this area. Okay. The guy. Was that Gavin who was talking about shorts earlier? I think it was. It was Gavin. Gavin, did you take a short from the fair value gap up here? All right, TJ, welcome. Oh, you did a quick short? Okay, got it. Oh, nice. Awesome, TJ. Mm, yeah. Yeah, that's something going on all day. Is there's just not a lot of speed for Nasdaq. The speed has been on Dow, surprisingly. I mean, we all know the Dow is generally the fastest of the three, but for sure that today the Dow has been up and running. S&P is just back and forth, so it's just chopping everyone up. And in the Nasdaq has been the opposite, just pushing down nearly every hourly candle. Right, we have equal highs here. If we see a big push up, we could be going to 601 and as a minimum, just to take out these equal highs. Okay, so you're looking at 17,525 roughly. That takes us back to the same area we was at yesterday at 11 a.m. So that is the origin of the fair value gap. I mean, not the fair value gap, the origin of the Fibonacci that I've been using. So this 71%, the fair value gap you're looking at takes us down the full 100% retracement. Let's take a peek at what that looks like. Okay, so that's right around here. Actually, we have it here. Sorry, I spoke. Is at 525. Yep. That would actually be here, the full retracement of this leg. So the leg from yesterday afternoon as opposed to the leg from Sunday. But that's cool because it takes us just past the 78 and before the 83.5. So if we get a bounce from there, then we'll take that. Actually, we can get rid of the 70.8 since it's already been traded to twice. Let's get back down to lower time frame. All right, this closes out our macro period. Okay. Mm. 30-second fair value gap. Okay. 558 and a quarter, targeting 513. Okay. Right, 2:15 coming up in one more minute. All right, next 15-minute candle just started. Oh, the market maker entries, yeah, yeah, those can be interesting. I'm definitely no expert on the market maker entries. Hmm. Gavin, it could be if it runs bullish, and it could be. Yep. Yeah, ES looks a lot better, Ray, for sure. That last failure was disappointing because it had all the makings of a strong bullish run. Albany Tech, I don't think it's unlimited range, but it could continue running higher. And I haven't checked to see where the all-time high is, or let's see if I can find it. Okay, so the Dow ended up running past its highs yesterday. Since I don't pay attention to the Dow like that, I guess I had missed. Wait a minute. No, that's not true. This is the weekly. The Dow has been run past its highs. The Dow passed its highs during the week of December 11th. So it was last year when the Dow ran past its highs, and it's still making higher highs on the weekly chart, whereas today is the highest value it's ever had. Um, so yeah, I don't know where it's gonna go. I really can't say, but until it starts showing you some sort of bearish momentum, just believe in it. take a trade setup if you find one, and look for a typical target that you would normally do in the Dow. Because even the last 3 weeks, it's been putting in higher prices. So I don't see any end in sight. But like I said, I don't normally trade the Dow, and also don't normally mark it up on the weekend. So I'm not as familiar with that indice. I mostly use it just to see how it's performing against the other two indices. Oh, head and shoulders. Okay, well, if that's a head and shoulders, then I guess we're getting ready to get a lower push, unless the last candle was that lower push. Yeah, selling the Dow right now doesn't look like it's going to be very fruitful, especially when you look at how it's been performing the last few weeks. It continues to look for higher prices. So the Dow hit its highest value first, followed by Nasdaq, and we're still waiting on S&P, which I was thinking it might do it this week. We do have a lot of news coming the next 3 days, so it still can. It was only 100 points, which it can do in one day or definitely over 2 days. But the last couple days, it has been consolidating, so that's making it difficult. But my guess is by the end of the week, we'll probably achieve the highest value on S&P as well, and then we'll see if the three indices continue to run, or if they start to sell off at that point once the third index has made its all-time high. But yeah, just continue to monitor it and see where things are going. But until you start seeing lows broken on the Dow, I would believe it's going to go higher. Mm-hmm. Let's see what old ES is over here doing. Look at that. Came down into these zones and traded out of it. So let's see if it sweeps these highs and goes into this fair value gap here. Hmm. Finally selling off. Right, equal highs, these three probably next to go. Right there, last hour's high. Sorry about that. This afternoon, so it's taking out the 1 o'clock highs. Up next, oops, lunchtime high. Going to check out NQ, see what's going on here. Finally got a big push out of this breaker, 15-minute breaker. 20 seconds on this candle. All right, Dow has now reached new highs. Not surprising. Okay. If you only have one contract, depending on where you got in at, Gavin, you might want to aim for 602, but 647. Oh, wow. Yeah, you can aim for 647 too. It's just, I would say, okay, if you're not going to take 602, if you don't want 602, once price starts trading above it, a good amount, 5-10 points above, then maybe move yourself to break even. And then if you ever get price up in this area, but it hasn't completely closed out yet, then go ahead and move your stop loss to the 602 just in case it comes back on you. At least you can gather the 602 value. So maybe go for that. Your big bro. I'm not in the trade. I just have a limit order, but it didn't tap me in yet. I was late as well. Or actually, not that I was late. It hasn't retraced to this level yet. Yeah, let me go ahead and just get myself in, just in case it takes off on me. Triple highs. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yep, we'll wait a little bit longer here. Go to the 5-minute. Mm-hmm. You know what? If it comes back on me, I want a better entry. More rice. Can you show how to have money on your TP and stop loss tool on TradingView? Yep, more rice. Yeah, let me know exactly what it is you want me to show. Mm-mm. Let's hope that fair value gap stays open. Long time for 5-minute candle, but let's see. All right, that didn't last. It's all good. Come on back. Keep retracing. Come on down here. Hmm. Oh, you got it? All right. No worries. Okay. All right. So it prematurely took me out, and it looks like price still wants to go. I had my stop loss up at break even, and this candle here took me out. And I was thinking that if it took me out, it would retrace a little bit lower to the entry I ultimately wanted, down at 577. And so far, that hasn't happened. Right, because I wanted this entry here, but as this candle was buying up, I just took a market order. And so that's how I ended up with an entry around 83 or 84 or something like that. But I really wanted 77. You know what? Let's go back to where it was. Yep. Yeah, I'm going to pull my limit order until after the macro or sometime during the macro and see what happens then. Right. Anyone waiting for power hour? You have about 15 minutes until we get there. Mm, 620s. Okay. So that's right above where I have it marked off. Mhm. Okay. All right. There you go, Sergio. You're right. Trading is waiting. Yep, another 3 minutes. 3 minutes, and we'll get to the macro. Then we'll have another 10 minutes after that, and then we'll be at power hour. Meantime, anyone with any burning questions you've been meaning to ask, go ahead and throw it in the chat now so we can start discussing it while we're waiting for the macro to come, and also waiting for price to sort of break out, excuse me, and show us where it wants to go and what it wants to do. During this hour, we have had the Dow reach out and get higher values, higher prices. So it's the high of the day this hour for the Dow. We had S&P almost get back to the high of the day, which it experienced late morning. So the 10 o'clock and late 11 o'clock hour had equal highs. I thought that S&P was going to break them this hour, but it hasn't. So that may be something it does in the next 10 minutes or into next hour. But it's really been consolidating all day. In fact, you know what? Let's just go over and I'll show you firsthand so I don't have to just explain everything. All right, so this is where the Dow is. I mentioned it continues to run, continues to put in a new high each hour. You can see S&P got really close to this high, really close, but for whatever reason, failed and is still trading in this range that it's been in all day. Similar to the dollar, it's been in a range all day and never broken out. And then Nasdaq, as we mentioned earlier, is the opposite of the Dow. It's pushing downwards all day until this past hour. We got some bullish momentum, but we got these huge tails here that it keeps putting in a lower tail each hour. So we'll see what next hour brings, whether it reaches for these lows to put in a new low, or whether it reaches into this fair value gap and tries to push through. So we'll see what next hour brings, but this hour seems to be closing pretty strongly. There's still another 11 minutes, but so far it is moving strongly, and it's the strongest bullish candle we've had since 3 o'clock this morning. So we'll go back to price action there. I just wanted to show everyone that before we get to the macro and before power hour starts, just so you're able to frame up what the next hour might be based on what we've seen so far. Okay, we're getting back to the same high as we saw last hour. DP is at 630. Okay. Okay, now that we've entered the macro, I'll put it on a lower time frame to give us a few more candles to see if there's going to be any sort of market structure shifts or breaker structures. Right, low hanging fruit target is be something like this with equal highs. Again, I have the 1 to 2 framed up, going up to 617, 618. And further than that, you're going to be looking at around 647 to 651. Right, 602, 617, and then 647 to 651. Long from 580. Okay, Serge. All right, Sergio, good luck on you. Good luck on this trade. Laughter's looking for 630. Okay. All right, I think these equal highs are going to fall pretty easily. Just give it a second to push through. Back down to the 1 minute until we get to 3 o'clock. Sergio, no, we have a morning session starting at 9:15. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button and you'll get an invitation and a reminder just before the session starts. It'll be like 30 minutes before it'll remind you. Let's see if it wants to push down or not. It may not do it. It may just go ahead and push right into TP. I mean, I missed the entry. To be honest with you, I missed the entry by not having the limit order set. Let's see if it retraces back down into the entry. There we go. Right. Break even now. Let's see what happens. Can it overtake the high of last candle? It cannot. Yeah, why not? Go ahead and run to target. Go ahead and do it. Try to take a low risk scalp there. And I tried to make it no risk, and it bumped me out and then went to target. So it delivered the 5 points. Starting here. Yep, there's the delivery. Poke just out the edge right there. Okay, power hour is here, everyone. It's now 2 minutes after the hour. Nope, not yet. Yeah, crypto. It's been tough going today for Nasdaq. Seems like the only one that's having a lot of fun today is the Dow. Yeah, TJ, I got stopped out because what I did, this is where I was. So took it at 30%. Right. So when it traded down here, and then when this candle started trading up, this one right here started trading up, I moved my stop up, and then it traded back down, took me out, and then went on about its business. So yeah, I got stopped out. right. Yep. I'll keep going. Let's see if we can get another entry, but let's see how this macro period finishes and where the next 6 minutes worth of trading stops. Somewhere above 602 would be good because that'll allow the next setup to present itself. Got in the long, but got in too early. Okay. All right. Looks like price is coming right back down to the same entry I had over here. I hate entering those trades twice, so I never do. Let me just look at 70% since it hasn't retraced to 70% yet. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, see if we get a run up quickly. This will be a favorable entry, possibly. Okay. Wishful thinking. All right. So we do have sort of a breakup structure here. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Yep. Came right back to that entry I had marked up earlier. But it's just, yeah, price has just not been following the rules today. It's just kind of doing its thing. And I think it's in my best interest to let it do it. Yep. Same entry I had over here. Ran it up here and then it trailed all the way back down on me. Yes, they are. They are. But you got to remember, this is our lowest low. So you got to figure out if this is our lowest low, where did the price come from? And if that's the lowest low, price came from here. And so what we didn't have is when price was building up, it didn't break this level. It failed just before and started crashing back down. So I'm not saying it won't take over this level, but it hasn't confirmed that it will. And so for that reason, yeah, that's not my long. I'm going to let it go. Someone else can have it. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. So, but that's fine. FOMC is coming tomorrow, so you want to make sure you have enough capital for that. Make sure you're available mentally, emotionally. All right. Thank you, Slash. This is the last 5 minute candle to close inside the fair value gap. Let's see now how the first one outside. All right, 310 as well. So the macro is now over. Let's see how price reacts for the rest of the hour. Hey, equal highs. So maybe this is what was happening. It was setting up these equal highs for us to come back and get them. So if you do get in a long, just be careful when you pass 602. Hey D, you have to take the trades that you like and that you want. I can't tell you which trades to take. I'm not licensed to do that. Um, I've put a trade idea on the screen. If you like it, go for it. But I'm not going to call signals and tell you when to join in and when to wait. I'll tell you what I like and what I don't like. So if you have a question about whether I like this setup or why I don't like it, that's I can answer that for you. But whether you should take it or not, that's going to be up to you. Like I say, if you enter a long, you want to make sure that you at least have a fair value gap or some reason to get in. You also want to make sure you have a target. I mentioned there are equal highs here, so this could be a target above 602. You got a lot of bearish fair value gaps, but you also have targets up here that it could trade to, although it's going to take some effort to get up there since we've been struggling all afternoon. But if you like this setup, then yeah, you could have taken it. It's a bit late now to get in, but again, it's completely up to you how you want to trade. Yeah, no problem, B. It's just yeah, I don't want to get in trouble for telling people to take trades and then they say they lost their money and then it's my fault and those kind of things. So I'll tell you what I like and what I'm doing, and There's some other traders in the room also who will tell you what they like, but it's completely up to you what you decide to do. Yep. Now we did have a sweep of this low over here. So the failed attempt at higher prices that then retraced back down, we swept those lows. So this one actually may work out better than the last one. But again, it's okay. Yep, right on, Travis. Yeah, it's like the original idea is the one I feel the best about. Anytime after that, it's like 50-50 of the original um, percentage is how I feel when I have to take a second entry. Hmm. All right, we got about 45 minutes left today. 45 minutes left. So just keep that in mind as you're looking at trade ideas. Well, actually, it's closer to an hour because you'll have 10 minutes into the next hour if you want to continue that long. So just keep that in mind. Trade stop at 410. Two more minutes. uh, Yeah, you're right. Yeah, NQ has not had its brightest moment today, that's for sure. Although it looks like it might do a little something now. I don't know, crypto. You still in, or you bailing? How do you feel? Oh, the 350 direction. Yeah. All right. So we sweep these equal highs, and then what do you think, Mark? You 350. We're gonna shoot downwards. $480. Alrighty. Still holding. Okay. All right. Well, it's moving a little bit now, so you don't have to bail on it. All right. 17,480. Okay, Slash. You think that's where price is going this afternoon? Yeah, yeah. The Dow is fast, so you need definitely know what you're doing with the Dow. I don't remember the stop losses that I would need to use for Dow, so that's why I haven't switched back or even attempted it. I just don't have the time to back test it. I don't know what that is. 580, 587. Slash, did you mean 580, or were you firm with 480? All right, still making hourly highs. See if it can get up to 602. Close out those equal highs. Okay, Slash. All right, that's what I was just wanted to confirm if you meant 480 or 580. Set a buy limit at 480. Mm. Okay. Boom. All right, 325 now, 325. Let's take a peek and see where we are on the other indices. All right, we'll start at the left with the dollar. So far, we've seen a little bit of bullish activity trying to close in what's going to be a fair value gap on the hourly chart. All right, so we'll probably see a push up in the first 30, maybe 40 minutes of the candle, and then we'll start seeing it get ready for its closing position, which based on what we've seen this afternoon, looks like we're going to finish lower. I don't know if we're going to break through and test this level again at 103,366, but I would imagine we push up a little bit into what's going to be a fair value gap and then start to retrace back down. The Dow, once again, just made a new hourly high, just took out last hour's high. And so the Dow is just, again, being the leader, being the strongest of all the indices today. S&P still sitting on his hands, didn't really know where to go or what he wants to do. And the Nasdaq wanted to cool off from the hot week it had last week. So that's pretty much where we've been this afternoon. And every time I check in, every 30 minutes or so, we seem to be right around the same area. I see Nasdaq picking up a little bit, trading into the fair value gap. We'll see how that responds. It's now at that 602, 604 level. So let me go back to where we were. All right, so we now had a break of that level there, these equal highs. I'll go ahead and drop this line now. We don't need it any longer. That also confirms that at least on this time frame and maybe a couple others close by, that we have done a break of structure. And we'll look and see if we get that market structure shift. But as far as the structure breaking, we have gotten that. All right, we'll now see if that is this fair value gap on the 5-minute or on the 3-minute. I think I drew it on the 3-minute. I think it's in the same spot though. We'll deliver 1 to 2. I typically like to see a 1 to 2 trade on fair value gaps. All right, so that would have been a 17-point stop loss and a 35-point TP if it reaches. Yeah, I didn't either, Mark, and that's why. I mean, price can do what it does. I lined up the trade idea as just an idea for anyone who was looking for a long, but yeah, price action just hasn't been strong on the Nasdaq this morning for me to really want to jump on that, even though that's kind of what it was showing. I'm perfectly fine holding off until tomorrow and then jumping back in the market. Okay, finally, S&P broke through as well. Those triple highs that it had that we were looking at. So now the S&P has made a new high for the day. Dow long ago made a new high for today. I don't see it happening on Nasdaq unless something crazy happens in the next 30 minutes. All right, Kendrick, good job. Came out with 48 ticks, 12 points. Good job. Hmm. Okay. Well, learn from it, Kendrick, and try your hardest, try your best at the next one. Okay. Fair value gap didn't hold. I thought maybe this one would. I think that came from the 3 minute. Yep. 3 minute fair value gap. And 2.5 more minutes. We'll see if it closes above. Hmm. Holy smokes. Uh, wow. Oh, let's see if it runs back to the top. Yep. Slash, I don't think we're going to make it there before the session closes today. I mean, we might, but unless we shoot down for 100 points in the next 20 minutes, I'm not sure we're going to make it there today. That original short idea still alive. Yeah, right. Let's go back to a higher time frame, see where we're landing, where we are right now. Wow. Yeah. Definitely ugly. Not something I want to trade. It's 61 retracement. Back into bullish fair value gap. Let's see if that holds. No, I don't think I'm about to get into a buy. I don't think so. I'm looking at everything and it just it's just not worth it. Even if it does go where I think it might want to go, even or on the short, I just don't think the risk is worth it. Especially since I've already taken a loss today, so it's better for me to sit on the sideline and come back tomorrow when price is doing something different. And like I have been telling all of you since I started, is I really like to trade when all the indices are together, and that didn't happen today, and I traded anyway. But yeah, I don't think it's worth me jumping in for a second entry, especially when there's only 20 minutes left in the session. Okay. Yes, Sergio, it doesn't happen as often, but you're right. They're not even close to one another right now. I thought Nasdaq would be similar to the Dow, where the Dow has already made its all-time high, and then it continues to run for the last few weeks. Nasdaq made its all-time high last week, and so far the first 2 days, yesterday it looked like it was going to build back into it, and today it just lost pretty much all the gains from yesterday. Not quite all the gains from yesterday, but pretty close. Yeah, that was my initial assessment this morning when I did the top-down analysis and did the overview. I was expecting for the Dow and S&P to reach for new highs, and I just thought that Nasdaq would go along with the gang. And Nasdaq had other ideas and decided they wanted to go against the grain and sell off for the day. So that's what happened. Earnings tonight. Okay, well then we could wake up tomorrow morning and see Nasdaq back at the levels that we expected today. So we'll see. But either way, it's tomorrow's going to be another volatile day. In fact, tomorrow's going to be the volatile day. Let's go ahead and preview tomorrow, just so we have an idea of what to expect. Okay, let me take my video off. There we go. Okay, so up first tomorrow morning, 8:15. High impact news, non-farm employment change. So NFP, whatever from ADP is what comes tomorrow, 8:15. Then we have employment cost index quarter over quarter at 8:30. All right, so two high impact news before 8:30, 8:15 and 8:30. Then we have the opening bell. Opening bell is going to do what the opening bell does. And then 15 minutes later, medium impact Chicago PMI comes. Right. And after that, we're pretty much going to trade 10 to 11, 11 to lunchtime, and hope that we can find some stable pricing and some good price action. Assuming that occurs, once we get into the afternoon, we're going to come back at 1300. We're going to start looking at price and see if there's an entry to be made. But knowing federal funds rate will be announced at 2 o'clock. So FOMC is coming and we should be prepared. Also, that's a two-part. It's at 2 o'clock, and then you have the press conference at 2:30. So price likely won't stabilize until 3 o'clock tomorrow. So just keep that in mind for tomorrow's afternoon session, is that it's going to be volatile. I don't know what 1 o'clock is going to bring. It's either going to be a fake out move, or it could just consolidate and do a very little. But 2 o'clock and 2:30, it's going to be a lot of movement going on, and we probably won't get stable pricing until 3 o'clock. So just keep that in mind tomorrow. It's a lot going on, and maybe that's why today was so unorthodox. All right, look at that. As we're talking about news, Nasdaq is starting to push higher. Mm-hmm. Yep, TJ, you're right. New York lunch. If you were short, like I said, you were eating good. All right, anyone excited about 5 minutes from now when we get to 350? I think since we're down to the last 15 minutes, it might be in our best interest to go ahead and drop down to a lower time frame. Owl power. Big Dave. Uh, All right. Anyone in the room have any final questions? Go ahead and throw that in the chat. If you have not done so already, go ahead and hit the like button, please. That would really help us out quite a bit. I left you guys alone and I didn't ask throughout the broadcast this afternoon. But I really do appreciate if you hit the like button. YouTube takes that and they'll recognize that all of you enjoyed the live stream, and they'll start encouraging others to join. They'll put it on their home screen, or when they search for trading, it'll pop up. Be one of the first recommendations for them, and hopefully they look at the thumbnail and they think that it's going to be a good idea, and they jump inside and realize this is where they should have been the whole time. But they won't do that if they don't get the recommendation from YouTube. So if you can help me out, that'd be excellent. Wait, the likes are starting to roll in. Starting to roll in. Thank you. Thank you so much. Realize there are half of you in the room right now who did not like. So I don't know. I guess I got to go back to the drawing board and see what I can do to get you to like my videos, or get you to like the stream that I'm hosting. Thank you, GC. I appreciate you. Okay, 2 more minutes and it'll be 3:50, and let's see if we get some fireworks. Let me go ahead and mark that off. Son of a gun. Of course it's bullish. Just looking here on a 1 minute, and I'm thinking about something. So the last time we broke a high and we made it up this far before the retracement, when we did that, that then made this low the low that drove this high. And then on the retracement back down, we came ever so close and did not do it. And so now the fact that we're pushing up is because price remained bullish. It never switched back to bearish. There was never a break of structure there. Now that doesn't mean that we won't get a rejection here and slam down into these equal lows, similar to the way we had equal highs before over here. Oh, big bro, thank you very much, man. I know you're looking out for me, and I appreciate you. Slash, I see what you're saying, but just because the equal lows are here doesn't mean it's going to be swept before going any higher. I mean, we're at the end of the session, so it could still go higher prior to sweeping equal lows. Right? But it could sweep the equal lows. I'm not saying it won't sweep. All I was saying was that it didn't break structure, so the fact that it's moving up is not surprising. But I didn't say take a long. I didn't show a trade idea or anything. We're at the end of the session, so I'm just watching price as it prints, and I will close off in 10 more minutes, and price is what it is. If you took the trade, good for you. Hopefully it worked out for you, and we'll join in tomorrow morning. But one thing I don't want this to turn into, Slash, is a I'm right, you're wrong type situation. We're all individual traders. We're all our own trader. So you can offer advice to whoever you want and say, hey, this is what I think. But if someone else says they think something differently, it's not really what I don't want is for us to keep going back and forth and saying, see, I told you, y'all should have listened to me. That's not where we at. We're not doing that. Everyone in here is encouraged to follow their own trading plan. And if you have something to offer the group, offer it, but don't expect it to be adopted, because again, that's your trading plan. So just keep that in mind as you drop off comments to us. I do appreciate your feedback. I do. But if I decide to go a different direction, right, just let me walk the direction I want to walk, and you walk the direction you want to. B, I appreciate you, man, a whole lot. Thank you. Okay, so it's 350 now. Let's see where price wants to go. Does it shoot for these equal lows that I have marked up here, or does it go for a high? Right, so we had a close above the fair value gap that was here, and then a trade below. So it traded above, closed, and then traded back below and closed. So this would then turn into what you would consider an inversion fair value gap. You would expect price to now come back, hit that, and then seek lower. Yep. Yeah. So big bro, definitely when you know that that's what's going on with you, your confidence, take those lessons and go into back testing. So as soon as the session's over today, go back through price action for today. Look at all time frames, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15, 1 hour, and just look at how you could have possibly improved or how you could have recognized something earlier, that would have aided your trading today. So just take that as a lesson. Go back and start studying a little more this afternoon, and then we'll come back tomorrow. We'll do it all over again. And in doing your study, you'll find that your confidence will improve. So don't worry about it. We all have the same issues. It's just when you know your confidence is not where you want it to be, stay out of the trade. Or if you want to, go over to your demo account and you can continue trading, and that'll also help you build up some confidence because you're not so worried about your account balance being impacted. You can hold a trade all the way until the end to see if it works out. And if it delivers, you start to gain more confidence in letting your trades play out. Right on, crypto. Right on. Absolutely. Absolutely. I just want to make sure. I mean, I'm not really trying to get on Slash at all. I mean, he probably doesn't know, and it may even be that he's not even trying to be difficult. It's just the way the words are coming out or so. But I just wanted to make sure everyone understood that we're all our individual traders and we're all different and we're trying to do our thing. We encourage each other when we win. We even encourage each other when we lose. So no problem, big bro. We'll be here again tomorrow morning, 9:15. All right, we got another 5 minutes. 5 minutes on the session. Last comments and questions. Go ahead and throw it in. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you don't forget. Make sure you don't miss out on any future sessions. All right. Thank you very much. All right, Laughter. Yeah, I need to be a bit more confident in some of the setups I'm sending out, but we'll get there. I am definitely confident we'll get there. Yeah, crypto. I have something similar to that. I don't do it every single day, but when I back test, I do the same thing. I go back through, I look at the way the price was printed, and I look at what the setups were, and I screenshot as well. I screenshot them all and put some notes underneath and saying, okay, well, this one followed the um, price model exactly, and it was a losing trade. It reached 1.5 R as opposed to the 2 R target, came back and stopped us out or whatever. So I'll put in some notes so when I'm coming back later on, maybe next month or so, I can see why I thought I would have won or lost that one. And you do that for several days in a row. And that's how you get your win-loss percentage. It's not your win-loss percentage, but it's the strategy's win-loss percentage. Yep. 2 more minutes, everyone. 2 more minutes so far. 350 looks like it's hasn't been as strong as we thought it would have been, especially since price has been held at bay most afternoon. What I don't want to see is at 402, it just takes off to the upside or downside for that matter. MOC imbalance was 1.6. Yep. Martin, I'm not sure what MOC imbalance was 1.6. Yeah, I'm not following you, Martin. Sorry. Can you re-ask your question? All right, 45 seconds, and then it's 4 o'clock. Big Dave thinks something big is happening. So let's see. I know these lower prices have been holding this level, and then one next to it, which was equal. Then we have these. I mean, maybe price will just slam down. I'm not sure, but oh, billion to sell side. Okay, 1.6 billion to sell side. Oh, wow. I have not taken that into consideration at all, Martin. Sorry. All right, 4 o'clock. Price looks like it's ready to do something big, and look at that. So it looks like since it's doing all of this at 4 o'clock or afterwards, majority of the people who are in funded accounts, all prop firm traders, are going to not be able to participate. But those with their own private funds, like Crypto Queen, can do exactly what they want to do with this. Now it looks like the move we've been waiting on. Okay, so it swept the highs. Let's get rid of this. Yep, we had equal highs, so it swept equal lows first. Then it swept equal highs. You know, since price is deciding it wants to do something now, I'll stay on for a few more minutes. Let's run this to 410 and see what happens. First move is the fake out. Okay, so it went low and it went high. And now it's testing out these lows again. All right, let's see where the dollar is sitting. All right, dollar hadn't moved this hour. In the first 2 minutes, we got all of this in Nasdaq. Dollar hasn't even moved. All right, Dow is selling. S&P is selling. So is Nasdaq. All right, so the three indices are doing the same thing. Okay, so 3 taps into the 15-minute breaker. Okay, now it's pushing through it. 78% retracement. First time it's touched that level. Yep, first time. I hit TP. Oh, crypto. Did you not take that trade? It's like, I don't remember you being in that trade. There you go, Big Dave. Yeah, during these times, it's like FOMC. Trade it on paper. Don't trade it with your real account. There you go. Yep, lows got swept. 78% retracement got swept on higher. Let me go to the 15-minute. Actually, let's go to the hour. There we go. So here's the Fibonacci once again. 78 is gone. So we'll drop that level. All right, this 1 hour busy. What's going to happen here? All right, Slash was saying take a buy limit at 480, which is this 100% level. Essentially, this candle Sunday at 1900, the open on the hourly, or the open 1800 candle close. Yep, exactly, Mark. So in hindsight, everything looks good, but the way price was moving, not 100% sure many people caught that. All right, Vivian, good job. Yep, mentally and emotionally save your capital tomorrow. Tomorrow's another day. Came in the last minute. It came after 4 o'clock. So absolutely, yeah, this is we waited all day for that and it just wouldn't give it to us. But there we go. The levels appear to have been 1 hour levels. Right. Well, like I said, it looks like we were going to erase all the momentum that was built from yesterday. So let's get back to the daily. Yep. So this big bullish candle yesterday. And up until about 10 minutes ago, we were about right here. We were around 580, I think, somewhere here. So I said, okay, well, we've taken out majority of yesterday's candle. Now it looks like we're going to end up eating it all. So we'll start off tomorrow. The weekly candle will be at its opening level or somewhere close. And so if we do get a sell-off, then that'll become the low of the week if we have a bullish week. But if not, then it's likely the high of the week has already been put in, and then we'll have a bearish week. But we won't know that until tomorrow. So with that, guys, I want to thank you all for being here today. It's been it was a good session, actually a really, really good session. We had good turnout today. We had good contributions from a majority of the people in the room. So I thank you for that. And we'll do it all again tomorrow, 9:15 in the morning. I'll be streaming 1300 for those who can't catch the morning session. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button on your way out. And I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, thanks everyone. Appreciate you.